Kay.
Hey, Trish.
Honey, I'm so excited that we had the forethought to do this quick episode. So everybody on the New Year's Day, we love y'all. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And I so love what we're about to share with you because it's just so, I think it's good for anybody and everybody. You don't have to be in comedy. It just, whatever you're in, if you care about social media presence, you're going to love this little short episode.
This little short episode was spawned off of, we were going to quickly jump on. If you haven't listened, go listen to the episode before this with Jared Matillo. He is the founder of Honest Fox Media. Honest Fox Media handles some of your favorite comics, including the two you're looking at right now or listening to. They handle our social media. And so he's a great guy. They are a great company. And we did this wonderful episode with him. But then we were about to get off and said, hey, Jared, can we just talk about some stuff with social media? And then we were like, why don't we record this for everybody? Like, what were the best practices going into 2025 towards your social media? The things that a lot of people don't want to do, but they don't know where to begin. And so he was awesome and said, hey, yeah, of course, let's talk with everybody about this.
Yeah.
So here is a quick, fun, grab a pen and paper.
Yes.
Listen, write down, maybe you pause it a little bit, go potty. It's a short, quick episode, but make sure you're focused on getting these takeaways because it's stuff that we were like, oh, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, we do it all the time, and I still got some things that I found beneficial. So
Totally. So please enjoy this 2025 Best Practices in Social Media episode with our dear friend, Jared Matillo. Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, so this is a fun little bonus. We were about to go off and be done. Jared did a great episode with us. We were so grateful. And then we were going to start talking about, stuff for ourselves, about best practices going into 2025 for social, just things that we need to ask. And then I said, Jared, would you stay around and, maybe answer these for everybody so that everybody trying to, clean up their social and get their lives together in 2025. And he was like, yeah, of course. So this is a little bonus for everybody. And Jared, you're so awesome. I mean, we don't want you giving away state secrets over there, but it really is helpful for people that have no idea how to get their act together. And they know they need to make social media a big part of their career plan or life plan or whatever.
Regardless of the business they're in.
No matter the business.
Social.
Yeah, these things
you can't escape it.
My 5 things that I would say to anybody looking to promote themselves on social media, to get it going, to, certainly this applies to comedy and this applies to that industry, but really in industry. So this is what we tell people all the time. So number 1, we say start where you're at, not where you want to be. And that applies to a lot of things in life, but particularly in social media, I think there's a lot of pressure to get your technology right, to get the content perfect, to get wait. There's always a reason to wait. There's always a reason to start later. But the fleeting nature of social media means it's also very forgiving, and you can start where you're at. And so whatever quality video you have or whatever quality content you have to work with, start there and improve from that. So,
that's a great tip.
That is a great tip.
This is, a very powerful device. You can capture a lot of great content on a phone. In fact, in some ways, we think it performs better than a lot of other content, even if you're in a service-based industry, to have somebody, if you're if you're doing leaf cleanup after the fall and you want to promote your landscaping company, some of your guys out there doing the job and talking about what they did on a phone video could do wonders. You don't have to hire a professional firm to create a professional trailer for you for it to work on social media, because social media doesn't need all of that. So start where you're at, not where you want to be.
That's awesome.
Second thing we tell people all the time, and this is a social media 101, is that no one goes on social media to be sold something or to be promoted to or to be told to go buy something necessarily. The 2 things every social media clip needs to do, and even if you are promoting something, we encourage people to think through this lens of either entertaining or educating. Every piece of content needs to do one of those things. And video should be a through line that all these things will probably do better through video than a graphic or a photo or something like that. But if you can do what you need to do and sell what you need to sell in a way that's either educational or entertaining, then do that. And again, don't overthink it. Start where you're at, not where you want to be. You don't need to hire a writing team, but just tape content that you would want to maybe watch and something that you would want to see if you're opening up your social media, and think through that lens first before you think of all the other technical parts of promoting something. Just think about creating something you will want to watch.
That's so, I mean, it's so simple,
So
but it's
simple.
so true.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised some
Entertain or
people don't do
educate.
those things. Yeah, entertain or educate, and so and try to hook people on freebie, and there would be like hook people if you're doing video, hook them in the first 3 seconds. Tell them something that makes them want to watch the rest of the video. Don't hold. It's not like a movie where you want to save the best part of it for the climactic end of the film, and you want to kind of slow wade into it. Like hook them, give them a reason to want to watch, and then deliver at the end. So that could be something that's entertaining, educational, or anywhere in between. If you get both, that's a bonus. It could be educational and entertaining. That's Bill Nye the Science Guy.
I was just about to say that's Bill Nye the Science Guy. I love you.
Yeah, exactly.
So true.
Be authentic. And this is really easy for some people, but it's really hard for other people because they think that what social media wants is the polished, perfect content or the polished, perfect version of yourself. We talked about this, this is especially with comedy, part of what makes comedy work is the authenticity and the rawness of what people are talking to. And maybe they're saying things that are taboo, or they're saying things that are very personal, or saying things that are almost like shouldn't be said perhaps, or they're revealing something about how they felt about a situation. And that should translate, that same thing that draws people to want to watch that content is going to make them want to watch you on social media too. So being the raw, authentic version of yourself there as well, and not overthinking what you're doing is really important. And so people don't want to follow, there's a reason why the biggest people followed on social media are individuals and not brands, not companies. Not everyone's following Pepsi and Sony, even though they make a lot of money and they sell a lot of product. What they want to watch is stories and things they connect to and something they can relate to. So be authentic. Don't feel like you need to be the most polished version of yourself in those spaces. When we were early days promoting Leanne Morgan, one of the times that we grew really hard and fast with her was in the pandemic, and she was doing these. You probably remember these front porch live streams from her front of her house.
Lord, I think Karen was on a couple.
You probably were on a few of them. As Leanne Morgan, and she's wearing no makeup. She's just, we're all getting through the pandemic together, and she really
Lord, she's teaching everybody how to make a Jello salad.
Jello salad. It's what she was really thinking and going through, and that was a huge part of her growth. And I think that looks different depending on who you are and how much of yourself you really want to portray. But giving people these glimpses into the real you is really important. And so they feel like they want to feel like they know you. That's why you get the creepy fans and meet and greets, because they do feel like they know you. You're doing a good job. You've done a good job of communicating the real you, but be authentic, because that's what social media wants to do. And that goes for, again, any kind of the business. If you go back to landscaper, I'm going to be more connected and want to invest in a landscape company that I feel like I know the guy and feel like I've met him on Instagram, if that's where he's promoting himself, than just, we're kind of past the day of, the 50s marketing was all about the shinier, better, faster, like all those, that's the products that sold. This is going to do a better job than the last product you had. And that's not really what sells anymore, whether it's products or people. And, if you're selling yourself or your company, it's that connection. I mean, people, there's a reason why people keep buying iPhones, even though they're not necessarily always the best devices, because people are emotionally attached to the brand. And same thing with people. So get them emotionally to invest and be addicted to your company and your brand and who you are. And if you can, you're going to do that much more easily if you're educating them or entertaining them.
I love that.
Yeah. So
very good tips.
Number 4, I'm going to go with be consistent, because you could do all these things great one time, but it's not going to probably cut it. And that's where going back to start where you are, not where you want to be. Because if you can, the trick to being consistent, we talk about this with y'all all the time. Like let's start somewhere we can do over and over again. So let's not reach for the moon right now with a big grand production that we want to put on social media, put all our eggs in that basket. Let's do something that you can do once a week. So if it's talking to your audience once a week in this format, that's something you can handle. Let's do that and be really consistent with it. And let's do that once a week, or let's do it twice a week. Oh, you have more bandwidth. Let's do a podcast. If you have bandwidth to do it consistently 5 days a week, then do 5 days a week. But if you can only do it one, then do it one. That's what's going to be better. And the platforms kind of reward that. They really reward the consistency factor, so that your audience knows what to expect and when to expect it. And it's the audience and the algorithm, because we could talk about the algorithm a bunch. But my point is to not overthink the algorithm. Just understand the algorithm wants people to be watching good content that they'll like. And so one of the ways you can help the algorithm is by doing the same kind of pieces of content over and over again, so that the algorithm can help you find your audience. The algorithm wants to help you find people, because if you're doing good content, it wants to connect that content with the people who want to watch it. But you got to help it out by being consistent with it, and that's going to help you build an audience for what you're doing.
And what do you consider out of like for someone that's not starting, right? They have to jumpstart their social media. How many times a week ish is a good policy to start maybe even training themselves to be consistent?
Whatever you can be consistent with. So
Well,
if that's once a week, then do once a week. If that's twice a week, then do twice a week. I think for a lot of y'all, we'll do a stand-up clip a lot of Tuesdays and Saturday mornings. That's kind of like one of the slots that we really like. And so it might change based on people, but the algorithm is also really forgiving now too. Like, it's not like it used to be where people get really hung up on the time of day or the time of the week. Like, it's not like it used to be, because go through your feed right now. You'll probably see things that were posted 5 minutes ago and 5 days ago.
I've been noticing that. I was going to ask you
Yeah.
that. I got something the other day. It was like, this was 4 days ago. And I was like, well, how did I miss that?
Yeah, I
It's not
noticed
as
that
sensitive
recently
anymore.
too.
Yeah, they're not feeding people chronologically like they used to years ago. So people don't get caught up in the time of day.
Okay.
You could be much more forgiving about that kind of stuff, but find a consistency, a pattern that works for you. Too little is probably less than once a week. You probably want to be doing at least something once a week to remain kind of relevant. Certain platforms welcome more content than that. YouTube is kind of like once a week is kind of, I take that back. Mr. Beast is the biggest YouTube channel in the world. I think he does like one giant production once a month or once every 6 weeks, but that's, it's a sliding scale. But for most people, an average person, once a week is a good piece of content. If you do 2 or 3, do that. There's such thing as too much content. I'll say that you could be too much. The people who are almost competing with themselves are posting 4 or 5 times a day, and that's not good either. And so because they just feel they need to feed. They've heard this idea of content, feed the beast, and they kind of don't have a strategy behind what they're doing. They're just kind of putting things out because they feel like they need to put something up. But just do with consistency. Do whatever you can do, good quality. So if you can only do one quality piece once a week, do that. If you do it twice a week, do that. But I think it'd be hard to find almost anybody who's doing good quality 5 times a day. So yes, yeah, don't need to do that.
Sure, not doing anything else.
Yeah.
No, how could you be? Yeah,
No.
But there are people who do it, and comics will get stuck in this lie. I know you have a lot of comics watching your podcast, because they work on weekends and they feel like they have a lot of time in the week to do that kind of thing, and like they need to keep relevant. But let your audience miss you a little bit too in between those posts. Let them miss you a little bit, and don't feel like you need to kind of bug them too much, because at some point you're competing with yourself as well. So if you put something up at noon and something else up at 3, well, the algorithm's got to pick which one's going to show people. It's not going to show them both probably. So leave some breath in between some posts, but just be consistent with what you're doing. And the last tip I have is just be patient. I mean, there are a lot of people who come into our company to be clients, and we look at what they've been doing or what they did at one point. We said, well, that was actually a pretty good plan you had 4 years ago on there, and it lasted a week and a half. And if you would have done that over and over again, you probably wouldn't needed us, because you weren't patient with the process and just trusting that it's going to take some time to build an audience and to think about it as a long-term plan, not a short-term plan. And that's why we really believe in starting where you are. So again, don't put so much pressure on yourself that you can't do this over and over again. Whatever it is you're going to do it consistently. Dial back to something that's sustainable for you and whatever business you're running. Because if you're running a business and promoting yourself on the site, that's a lot. And to do that consistently is hard. So make it easy on yourself. Find cheat codes. Use AI products that might help you put captions on videos and things like that if you need to. Don't overthink that either. But be patient with the process, and then trust that over time putting good content up consistently will slowly build the right audiences. Then you can raise production value and stuff over time.
Do you think, Jared, people should schedule? I just thought about that. Should schedule posts?
Scheduling posts is good. I think it's difficult on some of the platforms from a technical perspective to schedule it on all of them the right way. A lot of the platforms want you in the app and scheduling in real time, because it goes back to authenticity. They actually don't want big agencies running all of social media. They want individuals running social media. So they've made it kind of hard for scheduling content and doing stuff in batch and bulk. But you can create content in bulk. You can take one day to film 4 videos. You're going to schedule over the next 4 weeks, There's your, half day for your entire month of digital marketing. Find ways to cheat code it and make it easier. Have someone help you. Don't overthink it. Be patient with the process, and then and trust that, hey, just like anything else, if you're doing, if it's working out or whatever else you're into, like the time's going to go by anyways. Might as well have tried something and been consistent with it. If it takes a year to build an audience, well, a year is going to go by anyways. Might as well have something to show for it at the end of the year. And it's very rare going to go backwards. So, and then after a year, maybe it's not for you, or it's not what you want to do. You have other avenues to do your business, but you'll never know if you don't try and do all the right things for long enough.
That's so good.
So good.
Don't you feel empowered? I feel empowered going into 2025, Karen.
I feel more patient about it, honestly.
That's, you know what? That's true. That consistency, patience, and authenticity are the 3 keys to life in general, not just social media.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
I mean, what great
love
tips. Jared,
love it.
thank you. You rock.
Well, thank you.
I mean, this is what a great tip for 2025. Thanks for the time. Hope everybody at home got as much out of this. If you want to, I also want to shout this out. Going into January, Honest Fox, which we're all proud to be a part of, you're actually doing another Honest Fox Presents, which I was excited to be a part of. I did the first one. I hope to do one in the future. But Jared, will you tell everybody where that's going to be, where they can watch it if they're in town, and then eventually it'll be up and live on Honest Fox Comedy?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are hosting our 2nd annual Comedy Fest in Marietta, Georgia, January 24, 25, 26. Karen, you'll be there on that Sunday show, I believe. Trish, you were there last year. It was so much fun.
Yes,
and,
so fun.
There are live tapings. So it's a small, cozy club where we pack a bunch of people into. We have all the cameras rolling. And we bring in, I think we've got 20 comics coming. I think maybe 21 or more. Coming this year across all 3 days of the festival.
And they're all headliners, you guys.
Yeah.
It's
all
big
headliners.
comics.
They're people I can't say much, but you're about to see on Jimmy Fallon. They're people that have been on all over the internet on big spaces in comedy. And so, yeah, we're really, really excited. All headliners, and it's a big deal for us to host them, and very honored they come in and be part of our big weekend.
And the space is so intimate, and so it's just so much fun. Because get tickets now, because seating is limited, and it's just such an intimate space. You'll love it.
It
It's so
is.
much
It is a
fun.
very cool club. The whole vibe of where they shoot is just intimate and like cool. Like you feel like you're in some really cool inside joke, which I love. It's well
I'm biased.
done.
I think it's one of the coolest like small spaces like that in Atlanta. So I'm
I
biased,
agree.
but
100%.
but I think it's one of the coolest little spots. And you can get tickets at honestfoxmedia.com. I think you go to honestfoxcomedyfest.com. I think we have that up and running, so you can go and get tickets there for that weekend. But yeah,
And they can always go
fast.
to your Instagram, correct? And then just link through that way as well, which is Honest Fox Media or Honest Fox Comedy, either way.
Yep.
And you can go to
either way.
caramels.com to get
And you can go to
tickets to
caramels.com.
the Sunday show that I'm on.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to, yes, Kay, excuse me, you're
But
exactly
come for the
correct.
whole weekend, because you'll love all the comedy. But I'm just
No, it's gonna
saying,
be great.
I've
Yeah,
got my
If you want to go for Karen's show, you'll be there on the Sunday show, correct, Kay?
Yes.
See how we did it there, Jared. We're all encompassing.
Got it.
I'm sad I'm not there for this one, but I know Karen will kill it, and I can't wait to see it. So thank you for your time. Thank you for setting us up for success for 2025. We adore you. You're
Yeah, we love
just
you.
the best. Thank you.
Love y'all.
Thank you, Jared. Love you, hon.
Bye.